Hey, welcome back to the What If Universe. I have the one and only masked man here, and glad to welcome everyone back to my interviewing series where I interview people who were What If YouTubers or ex What If YouTubers. I don't know what else to call this, but so Mask, would you like to start things off by introducing your channel to the audience and describe what it's about?
Yo, how's it going, everybody? I'm the Masked Man, and currently I'm more of a manga reviewing channel. I kind of cover anything anime manga related, whether that's reviewing a series, giving my thoughts on it, doing a character analysis, giving out my top 10 mangas, giving out recommendations. So I kind of do a little bit of everything nowadays when it comes to anime and manga. But that's pretty much what my channel's about.
All right. So first interview, I'm basically gonna try to answer questions to your audience who might might have and also advice for other content creators. So to start things off, what originally led you to do what ifs for your channel?
Well, at the time, I was trying to grow my channel, and I was good homies with Anime X and Tyler, and still am to this day. And their channels were doing really, really well with what ifs. And so I thought, you know what, I'll take a crack at doing what if videos as well for a little bit to try and gain some momentum on the channel. I thought it'd be fun. I had a good amount of creative ideas to try. Obviously, I didn't stick with it, but it was kind of the thing at first that led me to want to do what if content. It was like that's what a lot of my homies were doing at the time, and I saw it being a benefit to try and incorporate what ifs to the channel a bit to kind of help with the views and then the subs and everything like that.
So what was your favorite what if you made while you were still making them?
Ooh, that's tough. I definitely think the what if I think it was I don't know because I look back on them all now and I'm like but at the moment I definitely did have a lot of fun with the what if Guts had the berserker armor before the eclipse. So essentially, what if Guts in the current moment of Berserk had the same utilities he did before the eclipse happened, how all that would have gone down and everything. But that was probably the one I had the most fun with. That or what if Naruto had the Berserker armor? I actually think that's my best one. The what if Naruto had the Berserker armor. That I'm gonna go with that series because it had like 8-9 episodes and it was combining two of my favorite things at the time. And it really let me have some fun with Naruto's character, making him darker and a lot more evil, along with making Obito a much better, not a much better antagonist, but if not kind of tweaking things with Obito and all of that.
So what was your least favorite what if you made while you still made them?
That was the what if Sasuke was in My Hero Academia. That one was bad. That one sucked.
Yeah, honestly, I don't think I would make that one unless I figure out a way to incorporate his family.
Yeah,
in that context, I don't see.
I
any
incorporated
way for it to work.
Itachi. I incorporated Itachi.
Okay, I
the
can
way
see that working kind of.
the way that we made it work was we made Sasuke like a foreign exchange student. Or at least that's how I did it because my boy Anime X, he did what if Naruto was in My Hero Academia. So to help his series out, it was kind of like a collaborative effort. And then we were planning on having a crossover episode where Naruto and Sasuke met in the world of My Hero. But yeah, looking back on it now, I don't even know what I was thinking. I don't know what I was thinking.
I think Sasuke makes more sense than Naruto because you can incorporate Itachi, you can incorporate the clan, all those elements a lot easier, in my opinion, than Naruto because you have to explain the tail beast and other stuff that's a bit more complicated. But that's just me,
Right.
you know.
Yeah, right. Totally.
Honestly, I might do that. I kind of like the idea
You
more.
should go
I'm
for
thinking
it.
about. I might do that at some point. But anyways, as someone who used to make what ifs, what's advice you would want to give to me or other content creators who are still making what if content at the moment?
I'd say be creative with the idea, but also because a lot of what ifs can borderline. It depends on the execution of them. I'll admit my own could come off as very cringy. So it's also the execution of the idea, but the idea itself, have fun with it. And I think there's something that's a little odd within the what if community that I saw. Some people got upset when someone else would like copy a similar idea to them. It's like it's a what if idea, right? I think one of my favorites that I recommended to Tyler and it did really well for him was what if Goku was the legendary Super Saiyan? And apparently another YouTuber done that. I had no idea. And so Ty, I think, got into a little argument over that. But my advice would be try and actually, like, if you go on YouTube, look up "what if Naruto," and then look at all the top search results and see what people want to see. And also throw in some ideas maybe people might like, but no one's done. So just try and be creative, innovative, and again, the basic overall advice I'd give to anyone, not only what if to YouTubers, but normal YouTubers, is really try and have an eye catching thumbnail. Of course, the title is going to be whatever the what if is, but really also work on your craft on thumbnails because that definitely helps a lot into getting the clicks and the views and all that.
Yeah, I think for me, I told this to AmaX/Broken Ronin. The only thing I think, what ifs, the only time someone genuinely steals an idea is if they deliberately plagiarize your video. But other than that, I don't
Right,
care if someone takes an idea that I'm doing. That's not something that's I'll be
right.
mad about, honestly.
Yeah, that's just YouTube, period, to be honest.
I would be mad if someone literally stole a script, obviously. That's something I think is
Right.
more understandable. But as far as ideas go, like, ideas are just ideas. They're not patented. They're just there. If you have your own take on something, just go for it, honestly.
Right. Totally.
Is there something in the web community that people should look out for, like bad experiences with other content creators, or a trend you currently don't like that's going on with the web community at the moment?
No, I never had any bad experiences with other content creators that do what ifs, but and I currently have not watched many what ifs. Within the only negative trend I would say is as soon as you grow your channel as a what if channel, this happened with Ty, this happened with X, it's very difficult to branch out and do other content. Which is why I stopped early when I was doing what ifs. I did a few here and there, but I really wanted to expand my Berserk videos, and then eventually I expanded to just manga anime in general, which definitely is going to be a great thing for my channel long term. Um, so that's the thing is don't do what ifs that are gonna burn yourself out. Because I noticed this, here's actually a negative trend, and it's just the environment in a what if community. If a content creator tries to do another type of video or another what if, people spamming, hey, where's part 2, part 3 of this when part 1 or 2 just came out the day before, that can get very annoying. And I remember X staying up very late, burning himself out, because with what ifs, you have to make a script usually to help out with what you're trying to do, and it's a lot of work being put into creating basically this entirely new narrative. So I'd say for content creators in the what if community, try not to burn yourself out because it's something that can easily be done. And for people who watch what ifs, calm down. Understand that it takes time and a good amount of effort to make those type of videos.
Yeah, I've talked to AmaX a bit about it, and he brought up a lot of good points. Like, from the way that he did his content, he did multiple parts in a series at once. And I honestly feel like that would hurt me if I was doing that as a content creator, because I enjoy trying to do newer stuff for people. But what happens is, you get fans of a previous series. It's like, oh, where's X here? It's like, I don't know, I'm working on Y. It's like, that's just how it is sometimes. And I think what this series kind of helps with is have people understand why people choose to switch up content, or why people do burn out.
Mm-hmm.
But something I've noticed with what ifs no longer being public on your channel, do you plan to release them maybe on your second channel or later on, or do you have a story behind why you removed them?
I'm someone who is very big on improvement, and there are a lot of videos, not just what if videos, but there's a lot of videos I've done in the past that I look back on now and I'm like, I personally don't like them. I personally I don't like them anymore. I just did them in the moment because I thought it was a good idea, but looking back on it, I didn't like them. So I don't. That's the reason I got rid of them. Personally, I just did not enjoy them whatsoever, and it's not the look I wanted for the channel, if that makes sense, in terms of the thumbnail and the type of content. And I might still do what ifs in the future, maybe on the main channel. I might tweet something out like, "Hey, give me a good what if idea." I've had one series in mind that I've wanted to do, and I might do it on the second channel where it's what if Naruto was a seinen? So what if Naruto as a series no longer had the restraints of being part of the shonen demographic, and it was able to be a lot more explicit and a lot more dark in certain themes in the way that it was tackled? Mainly because I see Naruto as a series as one that, if you notice, for me, at least I see it, that Naruto seemed to really be at its best when it was at its darkest. Now, just because it has a darker tone doesn't automatically make a series better, but the whole thing with Itachi killing the clan, Sasuke's backstory, Obito's backstory, Gaara as a character, Kakashi's backstory. Like, I feel like when Naruto was truly at its most tragic and dark with its characters, Nagato as well, Sasori, I felt like that's when the series was really able to captivate me. So I think it would be really cool to see, like, what if maybe Naruto was in that seinen demographic. So I would definitely consider doing that. Maybe on the second channel, on the first channel. But as for my old what if videos, yeah, I don't think I'm ever bringing those back.
Yeah, I think it's funny when I'm talking to people. There's people who heavily don't like Attack on Titan. And what I try to explain is that Aaron's character is very interesting because he's kind of like a seinen character put in a shonen, and we kind of watch this experience that goes down of what happens
Yeah,
when you
yeah,
do
yeah.
that, and it's very interesting from a character developing standpoint because I understand why it doesn't feel right to people because Aaron doesn't act like a typical shonen protagonist. He's acting more like a seinen, which is kind of like how it's written, really.
Right, right, right,
Which I don't think
right.
it's a
Yeah.
bad thing. I just want to bring that up because with the Naruto idea because that's something that I always thought about, and I always thought
Hmm.
Attack on Titan could have gone that route, but they didn't. It's kind of a weird show, the more that I think about it. But
Yeah, yeah.
I guess something more interesting to talk about. If there's one what if scenario that's not finished that you want to see done, whether you make like a short return to finish it or collab with another creator, do you have one you would pick in mind potentially?
Oh, I don't really know because honestly, I don't personally, now that YouTube is kind of become more. It's still a hobby, but obviously it's a hobby that I'm able to provide for my family with. But I definitely don't I don't watch a lot of YouTube, if that makes sense. Like, I don't watch a lot of anime YouTube, other than some of the YouTubers I've always watched, like Swagkage, Scamboli, Sufferance, Nux occasionally, Totally Not Mark. Like, those are guys I've watched, like, probably since before my channel even started or when it was in its early infancy stages. But in terms of I don't watch a lot of anime manga YouTube. I like to kind of separate from that sometimes and mostly just watch like basketball. And so I can't really answer that question. I wouldn't say I at the moment have, like, I'm down to collab with anybody. Honestly, if someone just hits me up, they're like, "Hey, yo, you want to collab on this video? Hop on it." Of course, anytime. I don't care how big your channel is. I don't care what the video is. Just hit me up, right? But no, I don't really think there's like a what if series that I would collab with, or yeah, yeah. I don't know.
So, what did you think of the web community as far as the content going on while you were switching over the style of content you're doing?
Um, I thought it was a cool community. Like, a lot of the creators knew each other. Obviously there were a few creators who had that mentality, like, oh, if you copy my idea or what if you're ripping me off and stealing content, and those are, I use a term called crayon eaters because they obviously don't know how YouTube works, and you can't steal ideas, right? Like you said, unless you just plagiarize the script without permission. Like, you know what I'm saying, right? So,
Yeah, that's my limit. Like, if someone plagiarizes me or something, that's when I start getting upset. But that even depends, like, how much was plagiarized, because sometimes
right,
setups kind of are the same regardless. There's only so many ways you can do a what if for a setup.
right,
But it's
right,
more of
right. It's
like the in
like,
between and how you get to the end of the story is more important to me.
right, right, exactly. But overall, I thought the what if community was pretty cool. It had its really good content creators, but also it's really just content creators, right? So overall, it's just like any other community, I'd say, in anime and manga. Just, it's there and it's doing its thing.
So, for a more deeper question, do you feel any regret for quitting making what ifs?
No, no, not at all. No, I'm happy with the way my channel currently is. It's now I'm in a position where I can really talk about anything and in whatever way I want, and it'll do well. People, they don't just come to my videos for what ifs or a specific what if, they come for the masked man. So no, I don't regret it at all, because I could always go back and make one.
All right. Yeah, I always feel like it's more important to ask this question depending on who it is, because X has his
Right.
own thoughts on it, you have your own. It's more interesting to see perspectives on people who are not into it, but see where they would be at, you know. But for something else I'm curious about, do you feel like you let down anybody by leaving cliffhangers on stories or not finishing them? Or even not even having those videos public anymore for people who might be nostalgic for them?
I mean, I might have. I don't know. No one's ever like reached out to me and been like, like, hey, I don't know. I might have. There's a couple thousands of people who've seen them, so definitely might be people out there who are like, dang, I really wanted you to finish this series or that series, so it's possible. But like I said, I could always return to trying a what if or whatnot if need be. But it's possible. I don't want to rule it out.
All right, so that can lead up pretty well to my next question. How would you feel if you were still making what if content?
Pretty boxed in. I'd feel like I'd be easily categorized, and I'd just be seen as like a what if YouTuber, which isn't. There's nothing wrong with that. Just I'm someone who has I like to have a lot of freedom into deciding, what I like to do, what I want to do. I don't know if I'd be happy. I'd probably feel very burnt out, because I love the content that I do now. I feel like with my channel, the way that I do things, there's not a lot of channels like mine. Again, the only ones I can think of would be like Scamboli, Sufferance, and many other channels who they started either only doing One Piece content or they only started doing what ifs. But and they've reached out to me and told me, ever since I saw you really expand the way you have, I want to do what you're doing, which for me has just been an awesome experience. So it's I'm pretty happy now. I don't think I'd be as happy if I was only doing what if content.
I think it's funny from someone who's named What If Universe. I still do what if content, but what I've became to realize, it's like I don't want that to be the only thing I do as well. So I came up in that box as well. So how I kind of tried to balance it out was doing like one what if a week. That's usually what I promise to my audience. I make sure that anything else I try to have it for my free time, because to me YouTube
Right.
is not a job to me, and it never really will be, I don't think. Like,
Okay.
I would definitely need more support than I'm getting now to make it worthwhile, because there's just so much that goes into this that I think people behind the scenes don't know. I'm sure you could understand that.
Yeah.
But I guess to get off what ifs for a little bit, do you have a favorite non-what if video you made, like while you're still doing what ifs, that kind of sparked a light bulb? It's like, oh, maybe I might enjoy doing this more often, or something like that.
Yeah. Definitely my Berserk videos at the time. I really enjoyed doing them. And more so the let me go back actually a little bit if I were to go to my videos real quick.
No, you're fine. You can
Let
open it
me
up or whatever.
yeah, I'm definitely just trying to go to the older ones real quick. But I mean, at the time, it was really just me doing like Berserk content. I mean, if I go back to my older videos, yeah, it was me analyzing Berserk, talking about it. I only have a few videos from pre 2020 up, like very few. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Like I only have like 7 or 8 videos before 2020. So like that entire year of 2019 where I did videos, most of those videos are gone. So definitely the Berserk content I did. A few videos of those that I'm still proud of.
So you kind of already answered this other question, so I'm just gonna rephrase it a little bit. So
Mm-hmm.
for people curious about what happened to your what if content, do you still have it privated, or did you actually just delete it all and no longer exists?
Oh
for
no,
anyone
no.
who
The
never searched for
videos
it?
the videos that you don't see on my channel, I deleted them forever. Forever. I deleted them because I didn't like them. I didn't like all my Berserk Explained series. All of those videos are gone, and some of those videos had like 100,000 views. But for me, I don't really care about that. Those videos weren't gaining any more momentum. Real Life Ryan had been doing his Monster Manual series, which I think is a much better series. And again, those were older videos of mine. I definitely wasn't as good as explaining myself. So yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because I know some content creators and especially people who are fans are always curious what happened to stuff, and sometimes it's just simple as you deleted them versus others like myself. I either put underneath like members only, so if people ever want to see certain content, I leave it there so it's still kind of public, or I
Right.
might unlist something or just private it. Because with me, it's like the only point I would delete a video is if I honestly have more moral issues with it. But as far as me going out and doing that, I think there was only one time, which was from last year, that I considered doing that. And I still didn't do it because I'm still mixed on that. Because
Right.
my thing is, like, I want to show older videos to show growth. That's usually why I kind of boot it to the second channel or just put it underneath members only or whatever, so that way it can still be viewed by people who want to see it, potentially, but at the
Right.
same time, not be
Mhm.
so public that it's super embarrassing for me, you know?
Yeah, I feel you. I'm just a little OCD with like like thumbnails and what videos I want to be on the channel and all that. So,
I have similar issues as well. Like, sometimes I don't feel confident with thumbnails, but then the video just gets like 1,000 views out of nowhere. So it's like, okay, do people purposely
right.
like these horrible thumbnails I do sometimes? And
I
it's
feel
just
you.
self-deprecating to myself. But I think the biggest thing that I have an issue with, at least most of it sorted out by this point, was my first what if. I talked to X about this, but it's what if Deku became Green Lantern. While I liked the concept, the initial first few parts were pretty terrible. So I went back to redo them,
Gotcha.
and people still watched them. They got around 1,000 something views, which they could be more, sure, but that's not too big of a deal to me. Like, if people are
I
enjoying
feel you.
me fixing my older stuff, then I'm fine taking my time doing stuff. Because, like I said, I don't view this as a job, and there's other stuff that I would consider to turn into one. But the thing is, like, there's so much stress and stuff that comes onto this. Like, it's not even there for me, you know. Like,
Right. I feel
I
you.
do I do stuff more of the craft that I just want to do something. Like, if I ever choose to drop what is, I'll have an issue with my name for sure. But I think the difference with me is that I feel like there's always something that I can talk about, or if I need to finish part of another series, I do that. It just depends when I get the free time and whatnot. Like, a lot of people ask me about a series called What If Goku Stayed Single. The thing with that series is each part is voiced by a different person, so I have to look for a different person each time I want to do a new part, which makes it my
Gotcha.
longest series I have to work on from behind the scenes. Even if I had all the parts written, I would still have to do that, whatnot. Because the main thing with how I produce content versus our people is that I prefer more collabing with our people, even if I'm not uploading as consistently, because I enjoy
Mhm.
the craft of showing people what it takes to make a what if, more to get people engaged with the story and what's going on, or whatever collab we're doing. Because I had several
Right.
people do what ifs that never done one before. Like, we went over where we needed to start in the timeline, what changes would occur, and it's very interesting to, like, I don't know, like, teach people, I guess. I guess that's what you'd call it.
Mhm.
I don't know.
All
I
right.
guess something else I'm a bit curious about myself. While while you yourself aren't making what ifs, do you still consider collabing with people who still make what if content?
Yeah, like I'm always down for it. Like I'm never opposed to collabing with somebody or yeah, like if someone wants to hit me up and they're like, "Hey, I'd like you to be on this what if video, read this part of the script." Yeah, sure, I'm down.
All right. That was a question worth asking in case people are curious for sure.
Right,
So,
right.
are there any what if content creators you watch? Obviously, you said you don't watch too many, but do you have any you want to recommend to your fans of what ifs who might want to still watch any? Because I know when I did Anime X's, it's like he recommended you. It's like I don't think he has what ifs on his channel anymore. And I checked in the interview. It's like, yeah, he doesn't. So it's like
Nah,
that was
yeah.
kind of funny.
Of course, X he used to do them. Now he doesn't, but I still recommend my homie Broken Ronin. The Red Cloak, he has some what ifs. Tylern, he has some what ifs. Anime Villain, Anime Sage, that's another homie. Of course, this channel, What If Universe. Those would be the ones I'd recommend.
Yeah, Anime Sage honestly has been really nice to me. We've been doing the Renegon Rant podcast, which is where we're secretly recording this thing. So I guess if you want to check out
Right.
the podcast, Tim may do that for you and the audience, I guess. I didn't know if you knew we did that or not, but I just like no. As far as something interesting to talk about, what is something you want your fans who liked your what ifs to take back from watching them?
I don't know. Like it's just I don't really know. Again, at the time, I don't have any what ifs on my channel. So at the time though, it was I guess I just wanted people to see like a creative take on a story. But I don't really know if there was anything I wanted people to like take back from watching them. I don't think there is.
Well, I guess that is true since they don't exist and you can't really reflect too much for back. I think that's always a downside when you don't keep content backed up because I think with me, I have some weird nostalgia thing with my stuff. Even though it's not good, I kind of like it to show people it's like where I came from point A to B, basically.
Right, I got you.
But I guess that's understandable. I think you explained earlier about making what ifs. I think that could apply to this question anyways. So, what drives you to make content?
I think part of it. Well, obviously, part of it now is there's a financial aspect to it, right?
Yeah,
but
you
in
can be
terms of
realistic about that. Some people are like,
yeah.
Like with me, it's like I don't have as much stake into this, obviously, because I'm a much smaller channel. That's why I keep telling people I don't do this as a job. I just do what I want to. But I believe, from my point of view, if the more the fans contribute, the more I'm willing to give on my own part. But since I'm not there, it's like, you know what? I'm just gonna go interview people. It's like if I want to do what I want to do, it's like I'm just gonna go do it.
Right, exactly.
It's not like I'm trying to give a middle finger to my fans or anything. I'm just saying it's like I'm not doing this as a job. It's like if I want to do other stuff, I can. And I give you at least one what if. I feel like hopefully you're happy with that. I guess that's how I feel about it.
Right. Okay, I feel you. Just like obviously I want to make it clear that if I didn't still earn money from it, I'd still do it. You know what I mean? I'd still want to upload content and all that because I love doing this. So it's definitely me being able to, I don't know, just everything that comes with being a YouTuber and being able to talk about anime or manga for a living is just awesome. So that definitely is a drive, getting able to really, in a way, impact people's lives by kind of entertaining them and also having the pleasure to kind of get in contact and talk to the people I looked up to. So definitely all of that would have to go into that.
Would you like to explain to the audience some people you've looked up to, like, before making your channel? I think that could be kind of helpful for people.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, this tomorrow I plan on finally recording a video with him, but Swag Kage was like the guy who inspired my channel. I made a lot of friends back in high school because we would chill and just watch like swag videos. during my free time. I'd always like watch his Naruto stuff. Sometimes there were some videos of his that were just hilarious, and you'd rewatch them, especially his collabs with like Seth and stuff like that. And so it was something where Swag Kage was like the main inspiration for my channel, and I've always looked up to him as like a content creator, as kind of like the benchmark of what I want to be, but instead of just for Naruto, but just for manga in general. Totally Not Mark, another fantastic content creator, amazing with his thumbnails and his series ideas. Someone else I took massive inspiration from. Scamboli, Chibi Reviews, two other content creators that I looked up to a lot. Zagod Hand, Sufferance, Real Life Ryan. I think I said Spired already, but Boofire, like all the major Berserk YouTubers.
Do you have any advice to people who either feel like quitting making what if content or wanting to quit YouTube in general?
Yeah. If you feel like quitting what if content and maybe trying different type of content, go for it. If you feel like that's the personal decision you want to make. Now, as for quitting YouTube in general, my advice is to maybe restart. Don't quit, period, but maybe try to restart depending on how far you've gone. You know, sometimes you just need to take a step back and really learn how to tackle YouTube. It's kind of like a game. And it's not until you learn how to make YouTube and its algorithm work for you that you start finding success. So try to take the time to learn YouTube, ask content creators who obviously have the proper experience or success, and just ask them all. And even at the state I am now with my channel, I still try to constantly improve my thumbnails, try different things with my thumbnails. And sometimes it works. And when it works, then I go for it a little more. And if it doesn't work, then I try something else. And so it's one of those things where you got to try to constantly improve in some way. And so that'd be my advice. I wouldn't say quit. I'd say try to maybe restart and try something new, gain inspiration. But again, whether or not you want to quit, stop doing YouTube, that's a personal decision for you at the end of the day.
So a follow-up question to that. If someone wants to quit doing what if content, do you recommend them to keep their channel or start a new channel?
Ooh, I'd say start a new channel, because that audience is already geared towards what ifs, and so it doesn't. You've already boxed yourself in, so it's gonna be very difficult to move away from that versus if you would have just started a new channel.
Because I look at how you did your channel and how MAX started a new channel, I kind of find it interesting that somehow you've managed to maintain your own channel, but MAX had to make another channel. So what kind of led you to keep your own channel versus what X did to actually make another channel?
It was because even though I had what if videos, not all my content was what if. X, all of his content was what ifs, and all of his most viewed stuff was what ifs, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
my
I was
most
trying
viewed
to help
videos
explain
weren't.
to people,
Right, yeah,
your help with that. So that way people
yeah.
understand why you both did two other things, because people were always curious. It's like, why didn't you just put them somewhere else or wherever? But like you explained, when you're creating content you no longer like, it's understandable that someone might just delete them.
Right.
Sorry if I sound like I was cutting you off there. I didn't intentionally mean to do that.
No.
That was my
It's
bad.
fine. It's fine. No, not at all. I'm chill. I'm cool.
So, is there anything you want to tell my audience before we end here? Like advice, whatever, plug your channel, all that fun stuff?
I mean, I don't know. Just keep supporting my boy here, whatifuniverse. If you want to consider doing YouTube, go for it. My advice would be just try and get a decent quality mic. Make your content look somewhat professional. My editing is not the best. Very times it's just very simple, moving manga panels. It's what Swag did for his videos. Try to learn what thumbnails work and what don't by observing some of your favorite anime YouTubers and then finding your own style. But my main message is if you want to try something, go for it, work hard, and learn how it works.
Anyways, that's where I'm going to end this interview off here. So if you enjoyed this, be sure to check out AmaX's interview. I really think that was a really good interview as well, so I think you might enjoy that if you enjoyed this one. Also, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that fun YouTube stuff. And anyways, remember, in whatifuniverse, there's endless possibility. And I'll see you in the next video.